Hey YouTube, it's Jared, aka Namestream Golden. A different type of video for y'all today, some eucalyptus. So I'm gonna get right into it. First of all, I want to say shout out to everybody tackling their personal issues. Shout out to everyone fighting their inner demons. And most importantly, shout out to everyone watering and nurturing their inner child. It's very important for your own health, wellness, and success. I also want to say thank you, God. And when I reference God, I'm not referencing a particular religion, a particular culture, or a particular set of beliefs. I'm only referencing the source that has brought your physical form, everything that works within and around you, to this plane. And I believe the more you go within yourself, the closer you are to God. I don't believe any text, any habits are particularly closer to God than what you were naturally born and brought into this realm, dimension, plane, planet. I believe the more you look inside yourself, the more you have a relationship with God, because who you are and who you've been created by is all of the same intensity of the supreme source energy, and everything else is just a reflection of that energy. This video is about mental health, health and wellness, growth, but most importantly, it's a part of my Blunt blog series, and I believe it's extremely important for me to share and document my journey, and that's the purpose of me creating videos in this nature. And I believe if I'm not being completely transparent, then I am devoid of my purpose. I just got out of a bath I ran for myself, and I battle a lot with self-care, and not shaving or what it may look like, self-care in those manners, but self-care as far as admitting my weaknesses, admitting my vulnerabilities, admitting we're still going. I'm gonna be completely, I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep it rolling. Hopefully it'll stay up. Hopefully YouTube doesn't flag this video. I am in my boxers, but I choose to be so, and I like it very much. And I have no fear of first impressions anymore. I have no fear of how anyone else perceives me other than myself. My biggest fear is to go back to a state of fear for anything outside of myself. I'm uncovering a lot of traumas, a lot of a hurt inner child, what some may consider PTSD, but nonetheless, it is no one else's job but mine. It is no one else's job but yours to confront and remedy your ailments. I ran myself a bath, and I allowed myself to, even earlier before that, not do anything. I played a video game on my phone. I watched a couple videos on YouTube, social media for a few minutes. And after some time, I just sat. And I sat on the edge of my bed in my dark room with the blinds closed. So in my bedroom, I left it dark. I don't have a dark room separately, and just reflected. This journey of self-reflection has been ongoing. I've been uncovering a lot of pain in the past 2 to 3 weeks, a lot of trauma, a lot of sadness. My mental body, my spiritual self has an infinite amount of energy. The tenacity of wanting to improve the spirit is what flows around this universe, but your mental, this physical form can get drained and tired. I used an analogy speaking to someone a day or two ago and saying, it's like I was fighting the ocean and not realizing I would get tired before the ocean got tired. So if you're fighting the ocean, remember, it's not even a fight. Kind of just made me think about going with the waves or going with the flow versus against it. And I've heard of these terms. I think sometimes you don't notice what you're habitually doing. You don't notice certain things that you are going through. With my new physical health, the way I eat, the way I exercise, the things I put in my mind, my nutrition, I've fallen in love with who I see in the mirror, like more than I love anything else. I've fallen in love with my body. I've fallen in love with the thoughts that run through this body. I've fallen in love with the pain and the embracing of pain. I've fallen in love with the pullback and the relaxation that I have to give myself, understanding that my physical body does have limitations. I've fallen in love with the process, the journey to the destination, if you will. And so I share this because I come from what some people call the hood, the ghetto, but I know people on both sides of the tracks, literally and proverbially, have these issues and ailments that they also deal with. My goal and intention in making this video is not necessarily to help you, but I understand that that may be a byproduct of me making this video. My goal in this video is, in my solitude, to be able to express to myself these concerns, these ailments, in a cohesive manner, and try to compile what I've been learning about myself so far. I am a traumatized child that never admitted the trauma. I am hurt by a lot of things that I've seen in life. And instead of admitting the hurt that I viewed as weakness, I was able to bury it, subdue it, control it to an extent. But these things are living traumas. These are living things that can naturally unearth themselves as soon as a metal detector runs right on top of it and spots it. I've hurt other people. I've hurt people in relationships, close relationships, intimate relationships, close friends, in friendship circles, family members, and I'm sure many people that have just been passerbys, probably contributing to why they are passerbys. It starts with me. No one else is responsible. And I have to accept no one else is responsible to fix these issues, although some other people may have caused them. And so I was raised as the kid who, because of where I came from, a lot of people are messed up. A lot of family, a lot of my environment was messed up, toxic, biohazardous, whatever you want to call it. And because of that, I was always told, well, you're not as bad as this, or it could be worse. And I developed that understanding possibly too young of an age. And I want to be careful with how I speak, because everything has led me to this point. The Creator, and as a creation of the universal creating, I am perfectly imperfect. My perfection lies with me being imperfect so that I can have a life filled with quest and betterment. Had I been born perfect, there would be no purpose in this life. There would be nothing to yearn for. The blueprint is not always seen at this level. Half the time it's not even comprehensible. But I can assure myself and anyone listening that the reason you think your thoughts, and the reason you have your desires, and the reason you want the things you want, those things are specifically and uniquely yours. And no one else has any other frequency of God has those exact desires, wants, needs, and fulfillment ideas. And that is proof that that is your destiny, and that is extremely attainable. I never needed to forgive the hurt I received from my parents, from caretakers, extended family, friends. I never forgave because I was never under the impression that it was wrong. Certain things that I have experienced happen at such an early age, I assumed they were normal. I assumed pain and stress were just a part of the natural process. I assumed going against the flow, struggle, and difficulty were all that there was. And I assumed that pleasure was for the afterlife. I am now able to have a new perspective. It is extremely difficult to get to this perspective and share it with myself and others. My body has gone through a lot of pain. And there's a pain associated with the understanding. Hang in there with me. There's a pain associated with the understanding. There is a pain, but similar to a detoxification process. I'm thankful that I've gotten this far, and I'm thankful for the things that the universe has placed within and around me to bring me here. For anyone dealing with similar issues, I want to assure you that your spirit has infinite strength, and it is only your body, your physical body, your brain and your mental are a part of that physical body. Your emotions come from your endocrine system, which are a part of that physical body. They're offset by your brain. All of those things do get fatigued, but your spirit has infinite energy. So, as much as you experience pain, experience pleasure. I have spent far too long experiencing life from a devoid of pleasure. I was taught not to be incarcerated before the age of 5 because my father was in fact incarcerated and met my mother on work release from incarceration. I was able to incarcerate myself without having to ever go into any external means of constriction or confinement. I was able to incarcerate myself and devoid myself of pleasure. Look like the phone is slipping. Yeah. Let's try this. I think this is what's happening. I don't have a good stand, but I'm gonna try something else. Okay? That didn't work. So this is perfect to go for a little bit of a closer view. So I'll hold my phone up, and I hope it's actually upside down. So I'll hold my phone up and let's zoom out. Again, completely transparent video. I incarcerated myself. Issues that I developed from the pain of my mother and her navigation through the world, and her not dealing with certain traumas. were also able to be passed down to me. Whether it be through verbal, physical abuse, I was never able to view those things as abuse because of the calibration of my brain. And so even within this past month, I'll say, I have been able to, one, tell myself, those things are not right. Those things were negative. Those things were not the best parenting methods. And many other pains that I won't necessarily disclose on this video because I do know what I am speaking towards. And I would like anyone else viewing to recognize the pains that they're speaking towards. And one, accept and acknowledge the truth. If I am someone who has a lot of difficulty acknowledging the destructive patterns rather than constructive patterns of my parents, caretakers, extended family, during a large majority of my formative years. And once you can acknowledge it and feel the emotions, because then you're on the right track. And I say feel the emotions because I always viewed emotions as weakness. And I have recently learned through self-discovery, emotions are not weakness. Emotions are natural physical stimuli that are here for a purpose and a reason. Not being able to understand your emotions, communicate them effectively to yourself, first and foremost, is a lack of emotional discipline. And in the external and internal world and environment we share, that can be a major weakness. So here I am to tell myself and to tell others, I am perfectly freaked up, and I've had a lot of freaking done to me. And I accept and acknowledge that. And I have felt and now understand the feelings I feel. And I'm here to tell myself that I can give myself the love, care, affection, etc. in the manner in which I have wanted to receive it and it be communicated to me. I have the power to give that to myself. I have the power to heal myself, no matter how toxic or how destructive my past may have been. I am learning how to give myself everything I need to be my best, so that outpours to my loved ones, family, extended family, so that outpours to my close and distant relationships, so that outpours to my community near or far, so that outpours into the world and the universe. I am the holder of my happiness. And my life is in my control. Shout out to me. And because I am only a reflection and a frequency of the same thing that has birthed you, shout out to all of us. Name stream.